Welcome to the English Boost podcast. Whether you are catching up on a commute, getting ready for a conversation, or you're just hungry to learn, we are so glad you are here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
So today, we are taking this fascinating stack of notes on conversational English, and we are cracking open a surprisingly profound topic. I mean, it is something we all deal with.
Oh, for sure. It is that massive, often invisible gap between what we actually feel on the inside and the words that manage to make it out of our mouths.
Right, and that gap is especially huge when you are speaking a language you are still mastering. You know, you open a textbook and everything is so neat. You've got your basic
You're
feelings.
happy, sad, angry, scared, tired. The classics.
Exactly. But real life has, like, way more shades than that. You aren't just sad, you are something else.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to equip you with a vocabulary that sounds less like a textbook and more like true, authentic human experience.
And we want to do that without making you feel the pressure of delivering, a giant emotional speech.
Right. So to set the scene, let's jump straight into this highly relatable anecdote from our source material. There's this guy, and he drives to a friend's birthday dinner.
Okay, I love this story.
It is so good. So he parks his car outside the restaurant. The engine is off. He can see people laughing inside through the window. And he just sits there for 10 whole minutes.
Just completely isolated in the quiet of his car.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone from inside texts him, hey, are you here? And he straight up lies. He texts back, yeah, sorry, traffic, even though he lives 4 minutes away.
We have all been there.
Right. And finally, he takes a breath, walks in smiling, and when someone asks him how he is, he delivers the hardest working sentence in the entire English language. He says, I'm fine.
I'm fine. I mean, the heavy lifting that phrase does is just incredible.
It really is. What is happening there?
Well, psychologically, I'm fine is doing so much work because it can mean I'm okay, or I don't have the energy for this, or simply, please don't ask.
Yeah.
When you are learning a language, you often have these big, complex feelings, but only small English answers available to you.
Which is so frustrating.
It is. And that forces you to slam a conversational door that you might have actually wanted to keep slightly open. It's a defense mechanism.
I love the metaphor the notes use for this. They say, tired is suspicious. Tired is wearing a coat and sunglasses.
That is brilliant. It's hiding so much.
But I want to push back on this just a little bit. Is the goal here to force ourselves to be, totally vulnerable every single time someone asks how we are?
Oh, definitely not. It is not about oversharing or turning your feelings into, emotional homework for the other person.
Okay, good.
Why?
Because I do not want to trauma dump on my barista.
Exactly. No one wants that. It's simply about having the tools to choose. You can still use I'm fine as a boundary when you need to, but if you want to be honest, you now have the option.
That makes total sense. Having the option is power. So let's decode some of these feelings. Let's look at the quiet lows, the feelings that go way beyond just being sad.
The nuance here is so important.
Yeah, so our notes bring up the phrase, a bit off, which I use all the time.
Mhm.
It is perfect for when your mood is sideways,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to give a full PowerPoint presentation on your internal state.
Yes, a bit off is such a functional phrase. It tells people your baseline has shifted, but it doesn't demand a massive explanation.
And then there's the word blue. The source has this hilarious, highly specific anecdote about feeling blue.
Oh, share that one. It's great.
So imagine a perfectly normal Tuesday. No bad news at all. But suddenly food just tastes boring, music is annoying, and even your favorite hoodie feels like a betrayal.
A betrayal.
Yeah, like the hoodie is not being emotionally supportive. It felt like someone literally just took a remote and turned the color down on the whole day.
That is the perfect description of feeling blue. Because it's liberating to recognize that feelings don't always arrive with this clear, logical explanation.
You don't always have a flat tire to point to.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you are just blue. And using a word like blue instead of tired is powerful. If you say you're tired, the other person says, oh, get some sleep.
Boom, conversation over.
Right. But if you say, I'm feeling a bit blue, you leave the door open, a friend might say, oh, do you want to talk about it? It invites connection.
That is such a good distinction. So let's look at another specific feeling from the notes. Overwhelmed. This is when life just becomes way too loud and too many little things are asking for a piece of you.
It's a very physiological state.
So if blue is having the color turned down, is overwhelmed, like having 100 browser tabs open in your brain, and they're all playing different audio.
That is exactly it. Yes. When you label the pressure, the 100 open tabs, rather than just saying you're sad, you help pinpoint the actual feeling for yourself and the listener.
It's like you're giving them the blueprint to your current mental state.
Precisely. They know not to add another tab.
Well, let's shift over to the exhaustion spectrum, because there's so much more there than just tired. Remember the coat and sunglasses metaphor. Let's take the coat off.
Let's do it.
The notes have this really powerful visual. Someone comes home from work, they sit on the couch in the dark, and they just stay there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
With their shoes still on, coat still on, bag just sitting right beside them. And when a friend texts to meet up, literally just typing a reply feels like climbing a mountain.
Just utter depletion.
So the source calls this being drained.
Hmm.
How do you break down drained versus just being tired?
Well, drained is a profound physical or emotional depletion. Think of it like the day has been drinking your energy with a tiny straw.
A tiny straw. That sounds agonizing.
It is. Tired implies that one good night of sleep will fix it, right? Your battery's low, you plug it in, you're fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But drained means your battery is completely empty. It's a deeper level of fatigue.
And then we step up to burned out.
Right. Yes. Burned out is a completely different beast. It's a gentle, or sometimes not so gentle, warning from your body.
It's when, after this week, I'll rest, becomes your permanent catchphrase.
Exactly. It's a constant cycle. When you're burned out, even a quick question from a colleague threatens to absolutely destroy a peaceful afternoon. Your nervous system just has no elasticity left.
So let me ask you a clarifying question here. If I just tell people I'm tired, they might offer the wrong solution, like, oh, go to bed early.
Which doesn't help burnout at all.
Right. So does using words like drained or burned out actually protect our boundaries better?
Yep.
Like it signals that sleep isn't the whole answer.
That is exactly the point. It communicates the true reality of your capacity. You are telling people that the environment or the workload needs to change, not just your bedtime.
Wow, that is incredibly practical. Okay, let's look at stress and blockages now, moving beyond just scared and angry.
These are so commonly misused.
So we have this story of a 10-minute phone call. Just 10 minutes, but it lived in someone's head for 2 agonizing weeks.
The dread is real.
Right. Your body feels tight, your shoulders are creeping up to your ears, your jaw is tight. The source calls this being tense. But how does that differ from nervous or anxious?
It's a scale of time and intensity. Nervous is what you feel 5 minutes before that call. It's immediate.
Just a quick spike.
Exactly. Anxious is the ongoing hum of worry that lasts for days or weeks. It's the background noise of dread.
Ah, okay. So anxious is long-term.
Yes. And then petrified is the extreme end. That means your hands are shaking, you are extremely scared, almost frozen.
Okay, so to be totally clear to you, the listener, we really shouldn't say we are petrified just because our phone battery is at 1%.
Definitely not.
Got
Please
it.
don't dilute strong words on small inconveniences. Save petrified for when it actually matters.
I love that. Save the heavy artillery for the actual battles. Okay, what about anger? Because the source has this universally relatable anecdote about being frustrated.
Oh, the password reset.
Yes, you're resetting a password.
Yeah.
You make it super strong and responsible.
Capitals, numbers, symbols.
You know it. And you hit submit, and the website rejects it, saying it cannot be the same as your old password, even though the site just claimed your old password was wrong.
It makes my blood boil just thinking about it.
It is maddening.
Yeah.
But you explained that this isn't actually angry, it's frustrated. What is the difference?
Well, frustrated is specifically about being blocked from doing the right thing. You are trying to move forward, and a system or a rule is stopping you.
You have no agency.
Exactly. Angry is a much more pure primal emotion. Frustration is about an obstacle.
So what happens when that frustration just goes on too long?
That is when it becomes being fed up with, like you've hit the wall.
Yeah, being fed up.
It implies a history. Like being fed up with pretending to be fine because explaining it takes too much work.
Yes, just like the guy in the parked car at the beginning. Okay, I demand some emotional sunlight right now. Let's talk about quiet joy and how we actually start speeding these truths.
I think we all need some sunlight after the password reset story.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So let's look at the word content. The source paints this beautiful picture of what adult happiness really is.
It's so different from childhood happiness.
Right. It's not jumping up and down. It's cleaning a room, making a cup of tea, feeling a cool breeze.
Yes,
Having clean laundry, even if it's sitting unfolded in a basket, it's clean.
that absolutely counts.
And getting a text message about a deadline that just says, no rush. I mean, a no-rush text is literal adult healing.
It is. And that is what it means to be content. It isn't jumping around excited. It's calm, grounded satisfaction.
It just proves that you don't need these huge, dramatic words to express a beautiful, true state of mind.
No, sometimes the quiet words are the most accurate.
But knowing these words and actually saying them out loud are two different things. Starting the sentence is often the hardest part.
That's where the friction is.
Yeah. So our notes offer these small conversational doors to help open things up gently. Like, to be honest, I'm feeling a bit,
Yeah.
or I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately.
Those are great starters.
But there is one in particular. I'm not sure how to explain it, but isn't that phrase actually a superpower for a language learner?
It absolutely is a superpower.
Because it immediately lowers the pressure.
Yes, it lowers the pressure of perfect grammar and perfect vocabulary. It acts as an off-ramp.
I love that.
When you say, I'm not sure how to explain it, you are actively inviting the other person to be patient with you. You're saying, I'm trying to be honest, work with me here.
It makes it a team effort instead of a solo performance.
Exactly. It completely disarms the interaction.
So, bringing this full circle back to the guy in the parked car blaming the traffic, with these new tools, these specific words and sentence starters, he eventually realizes he could actually tell his friend the truth.
He doesn't have to hide.
Right. He could just say, hey, I wasn't stuck in traffic. I was overwhelmed and I didn't know how to say it.
And just that small amount of honesty is enough.
It bridges the gap. Well, as we wrap up, there is one final, really provocative thought from the notes that we want to leave you with.
It's something deep to chew on. If we only ever use words like fine or tired, we don't just hide our true selves from other people.
Which is bad enough.
Right. But we might actually start hiding our true selves from ourselves. The language you use actively shapes your internal reality.
Wow. So if I don't use the right word, I might actually lose touch with the feeling itself.
Yes. By finding just one slightly more accurate word to describe your day, whether it's drained or blue or content, you might just fundamentally change how you experience your own life.
That is incredible. The words we choose literally build our reality. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this exploration on the English Boost podcast. We hope you walk away feeling a little more equipped. Keep learning, keep feeling, and stay curious until next time.